My husband was confident that maternity leave is a real vacation where a woman hides behind the children and runs away just so she doesn't have to work. Then I decided to make him feel on his own what it's like to rest on maternity leave with babies. We have 2 kids. One is 3.5 years old, and the second was an unplanned child. I didn't want to have another baby, but my husband begged me so much, jumping out of his pants how he would help with everything, and I wouldn't even feel like we have one more child. Well, of course, after the younger child was born, my husband instantly forgot about all his promises. On the contrary, he preferred less and less to be at home. Well, because at work he came back tired, and then there were also children yelling, and I shamelessly rested all day at home. And when he came back after a hard day, he would also ask for my help. He said, "So, what did you do all day?" And it was useless to explain that one child was endlessly sick after the nursery, and the second has just started going there, so I couldn't take my eyes off him. No, he didn't understand. He also didn't realize how I didn't have time to clean up, why there was such a mess, and why I hadn't washed.
I mean, did you wash by hand or something? It's the same. Just press the button. Dinner? Didn't have time to cook? What's there to cook? For you, all the oven does is cook. The dishwasher washes. The robot vacuum cleaner does the cleaning. What, you can't have time?
I repeatedly offered him to swap roles. I have a good job. I could calmly provide for the family, and he could stay with the children. But he refused. He said it was wrong. Women should stay with the kids, and men should be the earners. Then I asked him to hire a nanny or at least a housekeeper to help me. But again he said,
"And what will you do then?"
especially he was inspired by his mom's example. According to him, she raised children without diapers, without all those home gadgets, with no assistance, and didn't even say a word. She was a real woman, unlike modern spoiled, comfort-loving ladies. I somehow didn't hold back and said, maybe that's why your mom didn't even live to be 70, because she worked like a horse all her life for you. He found something to be proud of in that. He was very offended, and we had a fight. In general, we began to quarrel often. He finally crossed the line when, once again after work, he expressed to me that while the children were sleeping for an hour in the afternoon, I could clean around and do everything around the house, including cooking food. And if I wasn't so lazy, I would have time to do everything. Then I clearly understood that he needed to visit my place and rest, just like I did. The decision came suddenly. It was time for me to go to the hospital after the second birth. I needed a small surgery, but with 2 children, I just couldn't find the time. And then the stars aligned. I packed my bag, and by the time my husband arrived, I was completely ready to leave. He didn't expect it and was shocked, like,
"So, tomorrow, but I have work and here I am with 2 children in my arms."
saying something like, "Come on, I'm not going to Maldives, and yes, a vacation won't hurt you. Lay down and relax. You'll watch a movie." I could see the sarcasm in his eyes. Challenge accepted. The first day went seemingly perfect. He called, cheerful and satisfied, saying everything was under control. The children were sleeping, the movie was on. I thought, well, maybe it was me who just didn't organize everything properly, and maybe I'm just too weak. The next day, his perfect life was over. In the morning, my phone rang. The kindergarten teacher reported that the older child had a fever.
"Take him,"
says my husband, confused. He didn't understand. He had just recovered. Later in the evening, he called again. On the other end of the line, I heard the sound of the apocalypse. The youngest was whimpering and climbing into his arms. Another one was yelling and smashing everything around. Meanwhile, he was saying, "Already second vase is broken." My husband was rushing around the apartment, not knowing who to say first. In general, he quickly said goodbye. He had no time or strength to talk. The next day, silence. No calls or messages. He called himself late at night. His voice was on the verge of a tantrum. He said, "I haven't even eaten anything yet, just 2 sips of coffee in the morning, and then everyone woke up." He said, "What about you? You didn't eat?" I replied, "The oven is the same. Just press the button and it's ready." He got mad and said, "Who will prepare stuff for the oven? No time to cut even a carrot. Can't you see?" I could barely hold back my laugh. It was also a discovery for him that the robot vacuum cleaner doesn't start by itself. Turns out you need to at least clear the floor of toys and other obstacles on the floor. With each new day, my husband's vacation turned into survival. He was exhausted, complained about everything. "I haven't eaten, not a minute of peace." Every day I started hearing, "I miss you so much. When will they let you go home?" But I asked the doctor to let me stay for a couple more days to consolidate the effect. She laughed and said, "Look, that he wouldn't get a postpartum depression." When I came back, they met me like I am a hero, almost an orchestra played. And oh, miracle! The next day, my husband found a visiting nurse and a cleaner to come 3 times a week. Every night, he began spending an hour or two with the children so I could breathe out. I see that my husband's vacation was a success. Now we have real balance at home and also respect for the word mom. What do you think of this story? Share your experience. Is it easy to have children and have time for everything around you? Do you have time for yourself? Does your second half help you to take care of the child? My husband divorced me because I bought Dyson. With my husband, we have a separate budget. He decided it himself. He has a salary of 80K per year. I have a little over 50K per year. That's why he said that we should be divided our salaries equally. The main expenses, food, mortgage, and some general purchases for the family. All other needs everyone should cover on their own. Do you need to speak about my salary and all expenses? What I could afford was manicure, and even then, not every month. So when the promotion loomed at work, I grabbed this opportunity with both hands and feet. I got the position of chef with a double salary, frequent business trips that were also well paid, and at the same time, frequent overtime, even on weekends. But it didn't matter to me. I wanted this myself, so I was ready for any conditions. However, my husband was not happy with this turn of events at all. He was angry that I was coming back late, that I practically stopped cooking, and as he put it, absolutely launched the house. He started saying something like,
"Here, boss, forget you did this when you go into the home. Here, I am the boss."
Somehow, once again, he made a claim to me that I was a bad wife since I didn't give him enough time. He threatened to get himself a mistress, to which I reasonably replied that actually I earn more and now it's his responsibility to clean and cook. For some reason, my husband was not at all satisfied with these arrangements, and he started yelling that I don't respect him. However, after that, he said that he wanted all the family money to be shared equally. He started manipulating the situation, claiming that our relationship had soured and that to fix it, we need to review our financial arrangements. I refused. For the first time in many years of marriage, I could afford something, not only a manicure, but even a haircut with dyeing at the salon, not at home, curling over the bathroom. But his boiling point was when I bought myself a Dyson hair dryer. I had dreamed of it for many years. I had asked him several times to give it to me for my birthday or some holiday, but he always responded that I was a victim of advertising and that such expensive gift he would not pay. When I brought the hair dryer home, my husband just flipped out. He yelled that I was sick, that I couldn't make such expensive purchases on my own without consulting with him. I argued that I bought this thing with my own money. He boycotted me and punished me with silence for 3 days. Well, silence and silence. Honestly, though, I didn't care anymore. He didn't get my apology. He packed up and left, slamming the door. And here I am, drying my hair with my new Dyson and understanding that the pleasure I get is greater than from my husband. Tomorrow, I will go to file for divorce. My son has been trying to win back his ex-wife for the 2nd year now, but I don't even know what to say to him anymore. I just watch from the sidelines as he courts her again, not with any gloating, but because I truly feel sorry for her. She is such a wonderful woman, and he threw it all away. He filed for divorce when everything was perfectly fine between them. The only problem started when it was time for the decree. Jane gained a lot of weight during her pregnancy, which was understandable, but it was also clear she struggled with it. Before she got pregnant, they couldn't conceive, and during the pregnancy, it was difficult for her. I felt so sorry for her because I completely understood what she was going through. I went through a tough second pregnancy myself. I gained a lot of weight and didn't like myself at all, but I tried to stay positive for the sake of my son. It wasn't easy, especially since pregnancy can be exhausting, and in her case, even more so. My son didn't understand any of it. He was distant and unhelpful. When things got tough, he brushed it off with excuses like,
I don't know how to help.
He didn't even try to learn or offer support. I tried to talk to him asking, are you a father or a stranger? Why is your wife doing everything for the child while you just go along with it? But he didn't listen. He would say,
I work. She's on maternity leave, so it's her job to manage everything.
He didn't realize that it wasn't just about taking care of the child. She had to do everything around the house, including cooking, cleaning, shopping, and taking care of herself, all while dealing with post-pregnancy health issues. Despite all this, my son continued to criticize her. He complained that she didn't try to look good for him anymore, but I told him she's got 24 hours in her day too. It's not all about how she looks. He didn't understand that when there are health problems, especially hormonal problems, no amount of dieting or sport can fix it. I am still amazed that Jane didn't hit him with a frying pan. She put up with so much and still tried to work on herself. She went to the gym, tried to get back in shape, but it wasn't just about appearances. The issue was deeper. My son decided he didn't need a wife like her and said he couldn't live with someone who didn't excite him anymore. So he demanded a divorce. The whole family was in shock. I supported my daughter-in-law through it all, especially since she was left with a 1-year-old child, and as an orphan, she had no one else to turn to. Thankfully, she had her own place, but we insisted she file for child support, not just for the child, but also for herself. My son initially resented it, but after talking to his father, he agreed. Despite everything, we didn't abandon our grandson. We made sure to see him regularly and take him on weekends to give Jane a break. But my son distanced himself from the child. He was busy building his new life while Jane focused on herself. She worked hard on her health, followed doctor's advice, and lost weight. After 2 years of hard work, she transformed, not just physically, but emotionally. She got a new job, updated her style, and looked amazing. My son saw this transformation when he ran into her while she was picking up their son. He was stunned by how she looked and suddenly wanted her back. But it's too late. Jane is no longer interested in him. She knows exactly what kind of man he is. Now he's been chasing her for 2 years, sending flowers and trying to call her, but she's not taking the bait. She doesn't forbid him from seeing the child, but she keeps her distance, and honestly, I think she'll find a much better partner for herself. My son won't be able to fool her a second time. Let him walk around full of regrets. He had his chance, and now he has to live with his mistakes. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.